Today I have the keys to the 2021 BMW Alpina XB7. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. This is one of about 700 being made, so this is a limited production vehicle. Definitely check out their website, that will be down below. This model here is finished off in a very beautiful tanzanite blue metallic, and it has an MSRP just over $152,000. Let's go ahead and get into today's review by starting up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 4.4-liter twin-scroll turbocharged V8 engine. This is paired to the ZF 8-speed transmission. This engine also has the addition of 2 water coolers. It has a larger transmission oil cooler and intercoolers over the base X7, which makes this engine pump out 612 horsepower, around 5,500 RPM, and 590 pound-feet of torque as low as 2,000 RPM. This model is all-wheel drive, and it also features rear-wheel steering. It weighs in around 5,800 pounds, but that means it'll do 0 to 60 in around 4 seconds, up to its top speed of 181 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 21.9 gallons, you can expect to see around 15 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 112.2 inches. Its overall length is 203.3. It has a width of 78.7 and a height of 70.7 inches. With all those specs out of the way now, let's go ahead and jump into the exterior walk around on the Alpina XB7. I'm going to start up front here with the adaptive LED headlights. They also feature the laser light technology, and this also has LED DRLs and LED turn signals. You'll see that the DRLs have a very nice C-shaped design to them, just underneath the headlight and the high beam, and then the turn signal is on the top of the housing. I think it has a very nice look. I love the floating design to those DRLs. It just gives it a very unique look. But now, working our way to the massive kidney-style grille, you'll see it's finished off in chrome. There's nice vertical slats along with the active grille shutters just behind them, and this has a forward-facing camera nicely integrated into the lower section of it. So it's very large, but it also complements the size of this vehicle, and it works really well. You'll also notice there's a lot of cutouts in the lower section of the bumper, along with a nice chrome trim piece that goes from one side all the way to the other. You can see all of the parking sensors that are integrated as well. We have the Alpina badge down below, along with a forward-facing sensor, along with some more cutouts and really nice contoured lines in the lower section of the bumper. So I really like how everything is pieced together. And then up top, there's very clean lines that run down the hood. So I really like the front end design. It just has a great presence to it. But making our way to the side profile now, this specific model has the upgraded 23-inch wheels. They have a multi-spoke design to them and a really nice finish against this exterior blue. Just behind the wheels, you'll see the Brembo 4-piston calipers finished off in Alpina blue, which is a really nice touch to see. You can also see there's more chrome trim on the lower section of the door. This also features body-colored side mirrors. They have the integrated turn signal and a camera underneath each one. I'll show that 360 camera system later in this video. You'll notice there's more chrome trim around the windows. It's up on the roof rails as well, and this has a full panoramic sunroof for the front seat passengers and for the third row passengers, which will be really cool to check out. But I love the side profile design. There's a really nice line that runs just underneath the door handle all the way to the rear taillight there, and we have some nice contoured lines in the fender arches just to add a little bit aggressive look to it. This also features an adaptive suspension, and you can see the lower side skirts has some great contoured lines to it as well. But now finishing up in the rear, you'll see this has a body colored integrated spoiler along with the third brake light. It also has very nice piano black trim pieces surrounding the glass on both sides. The wiper blade is mounted on the lower section to help improve visibility. This does have a power liftgate, which I'll show here later. We have the standard backup camera along with all the parking sensors. Of course, this has LED brake lights. You can see the lower diffuser is also finished off in body color just to make it look that much nicer. And then finishing up with the Alpina stainless steel quad tip exhaust. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the interior on the Alpina XB7. With the vehicle locked and the key in my pocket, I'm just going to grab the door handle and it will automatically unlock. Starting off on the door panel here, you'll see the very premium feeling merino leather. It has black stitching. You can see there's also ambient lighting on this vehicle. It runs just underneath that. Of course, we have the release handle with lock and unlock finished off in brushed aluminum. And you also have your seating memory adjustments, your massage features, and you can also adjust the rear seats just by pushing on that top button. We have all of the window controls and the side mirror adjustments finished off in more of that brushed aluminum. This also features a 16-speaker Bowers & Wilkins audio sound system. and there's a little bit of storage space in the lower section of the door. So it is a very premium feeling door panel. There's even solid black leather up on the top of it. But making our way to the interior now, you'll see Alpina down on the door sill. We have more of that merino leather. You can see it has a really nice design to it. Of course, these are heated and ventilated. They have a 20-way power adjustability to them. Very nice bolstering support. We have all those controls down on the side, of course. And then making our way to the steering wheel now, you'll see it's completely covered in solid black leather. It features blue stitching on the upper half and green stitching running on the lower half. Just gives it a very unique look. Of course, the Alpina badge is right in the center. This is also a heated steering wheel, and it has brushed aluminum trim pieces running throughout it, just to give it a very nice look. On the right side is the volume and tuning for the radio, along with Bluetooth and voice commands. On the left side is all of the cruise control and adaptive cruise control settings. And then making our way to the left side, there's a small storage bin down below. We have all the controls for the headlights and fog lights. There's one air vent with some piano black trim and more of the brushed aluminum trim. You can see leather covers the entire dash. This also features the heads-up display. So right now it's showing the miles per hour and the speed limit sign. And then coming back to the gauge cluster, you'll see it is digital. On the left side, we have the fuel and speedometer. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. There's also the navigation in the center, so when that is on and running, you'll be able to see that, which is nice. And then working our way to the center now, we have the 12.3-inch touchscreen system. You can, however, use all of these controls down below. We have a really nice crystal knob right in the center that says Alpina on it. And then we have all of the shortcuts to your media, your map and navigation, home and phone, with your back and option button on the back side there. And then we can use that dial down below and scroll through all of this information. So we can go over to another page. You can see your traffic conditions along with your MPG and compass. And then there's even one more page to look at the date, the weather, and any news. So it's really nice how you have all that information on the home screen. You can easily go into your media and phone. We can click on the navigation so that way you can see that in full screen. We can go down one more to car, and you can look at a lot of information from your vehicle status. You have different settings. You have your carrying car setting as well. Just underneath that, you will see two air vents. We have the hazard control in the center, and then just by pushing on this button, that is the intelligent safety. So you can go into configure, and you can look at your forward collision. You have your side collision warning, your lane departure, active blind spot, steering intervention. It's a very nice shortcut to be able to get to all this information. And then just underneath that, you will see a small LCD screen. This is for the AC controls. So you have your fan speed in the center, along with the temperature for driver and passenger, along with some recirc buttons on both sides and the heated seat buttons. And then underneath that, you'll see we have power and volume for the radio, along with tuning on the right side. And then all these presets, I can just drag my finger and you'll see it go to that specific number as I move my finger. So that's a neat feature to see. And then underneath that, you'll see the BMW Alpina XB7 badge, finished with piano black surrounding it. There's also a very nice brushed aluminum trim piece on both sides and more two-tone leather on the sides. But if we go ahead and push this up, that reveals two cup holders, which are heated and cooled. You can just push on these buttons here and they will light up blue or red depending on heated or cooled there. We have a wireless charging port up front, along with a 12 volt and a USB. And then we can easily hide that away, which is nice to see. And then looking at the shifter, it's finished off in crystal. It has a really nice design to it. All we have to do is push on the unlock button on the left side. We can go all the way up into reverse, and you will see the backup camera up here. We do have some shortcuts to different areas of the vehicle that you can push on, so you can easily see around the entire vehicle. This also has the backup assistance and the automatic parking, so this will help you parallel park. So with the gesture that you see on the screen there, we can easily do that and actually move where you're seeing on this vehicle. So that's very cool how you can do that just by using your hand to see around the entire vehicle. You can, however, bring this back out, click on this again, and then you can see you can actually pinpoint different areas of the vehicle. We can swipe this over one more time and look at the car wash. So if you're pulling into a car wash or even a parking spot, you can easily line up the front of the vehicle. And then back to the rear view camera, I'll go ahead and put the vehicle into drive, and you will see it change now to the forward facing camera. So definitely plenty of visibility. All we have to do is push the P on the back, and that will place us back into park. On the left side, you can turn on and off traction control. There's a shortcut button to your camera system, so just by clicking on that, you can easily pull it up. You can turn on and off your parking sensors, along with, of course, the engine with the engine start stop button. There's a couple different driving modes. We have Sport, Sport Plus, and Sport Individual. And then you can also go to Comfort and Comfort Plus. So you have a couple different modes. There's also an adaptive setting. You have the auto hold assist along with the electronic parking brake. There's a downhill assist control, and then this vehicle does feature an adaptive suspension. So just by using this toggle switch here, you can easily raise and lower the vehicle. Just behind that, you'll see the center armrest is finished off in more of that leather. We have the brushed aluminum release handle right up front, and then you can see there's a good amount of storage space along with a USB in the front, and then we can easily close this up. Making our way to the glove box now, you'll see there's a lot of room there for everything that needs to go in there. There's also more leather on the dash, which gives it a really nice look. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats. And then as I mentioned earlier, this has a full panoramic sunroof. I'll just use this control up front here and we can easily go ahead and open that up. This first one goes all the way to the backseat passengers, which is really nice to see. And then there is a second one for the third row passengers. And then up top, we do have the dome light controls along with being able to open the sunroof, and you can get one last look at the very nice headliner. Hopping into the back seats now of the XB7, we have very luxurious captain's chairs. At 5'10", I can't complain at all with any of the room. I have the front seat set at my height. I can easily kind of extend my legs. I have plenty of room in front of my knees and about 5 or 6 inches above my head. We also have adjustable armrests that slide forwards and backwards, or you can move them completely out of the way. And of course we have power operated seats, so you can easily recline them, move them forwards or backwards, and they are heated, which is really cool to see. I'm gonna move on to the door panel now, where we have a ton of options to go through. Not only can you put the window all the way down and all the way back up, you can also adjust the privacy shade, or from the sun here, you can easily put that up and down, not only on this side, but also on the passenger side as well. Just by pushing on the other button, you can easily adjust that. We can also adjust the sunshade above me here for the full panoramic roof that goes from the second row all the way to the front row. So you can open and close that with this button. And then the fourth button is for the sunshade for the third row passengers. So you have the option to do that, which is really cool to see. You can easily get very comfortable in the back seats. Along with that, we also have the dual zone climate for the middle row. So we have 2 up front, 2 in the rear. You have all those controls that you can go through, along with a 12 volt, 2 USB ports, and 2 cup holders down in the floor. So you have plenty of room and plenty of comfort in the second row. Now it's time to take a look at the third row. All you have to do to get into the back is pull on the lever on the backrest of the second row. It will automatically slide forwards, giving you plenty of room, even at 5'10", to go ahead and hop into the third row here. Right off the bat, I have a lot of headroom. I got about 2 or 3 inches above my head. And then going ahead and moving this seat all the way back, I do have a good amount of space for my knees. Of course, this seat could be moved forward to accommodate me a little bit better, but you have room for full-size adults, which is awesome to see. You can see there's a cup holder on both sides, there's more ambient lighting, and we have air vents up top. So this has another climate control for the third row, so you can easily adjust your heated seats, your temperature, where you'd like the air to go, and be comfortable in the back seats, along with adjusting the sunshade. So you can easily close that if you need to, or open it if you want to bring in a little more light. Last up, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the storage space behind the third row. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the top section of the power liftgate, as this has a split style design to it, which is really cool to see. So you have your regular access here, but then you can also push on this button here and open up the lower section of the liftgate. So you actually have somewhere to sit if you'd like to do that. And then you can see there's a good amount of storage space with the third row up, and then with them folded down, it gives you a lot more space. You can easily control all of the seats too with these dials here. So we have the second row and the third row. We also have a max button. So if you want to have all the seats up, you push that button, and then a max button for storage. They will fold them down and move that second row forward. There's also a removable cover here, and then there's a little bit of storage space underneath the floor if you want to hide away any items. You can also push on this button here, and it will lower the rear end of the vehicle, so it'll bring that load height down if you have any large items and you need a little bit more room. And you can also push that button to raise it back up, or to bring the tailgate back up too. And then up top, you can either close and lock the vehicle or just close it. All right, so setting off in the 2021 BMW Alpina XB7. This is a very awesome SUV to be able to check out simply because of the limited production. Around 700 will be produced. So this is an awesome opportunity to check this out and see what it has to offer. As you've already seen in today's video, there is so much that this has to offer as far as premium materials on the interior, a lot of technology features, and a lot of room for both storage and for people. Let's go ahead and give it a little bit of gas here in normal mode. Not even half throttle, it's a brand new vehicle, but that's 612 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. I could not imagine ripping on this and just getting up to speed. This is definitely a very healthy engine. But let's talk about the interior again. I love all of these materials, the solid leather. We have leather on the steering wheel, all of the brushed aluminum and piano black accents. It just gives it a very upscale look. Let's go ahead and put it into a Sport Plus now. We can pop over to Shift using this. It's very responsive in the shifts. One thing that I just noticed too and did not show earlier is putting the vehicle over into a sport mode now, there's actually buttons on the backside for plus and minus. So there's a small dial here. If I go ahead and downshift, I can go to second gear. Wow. And you can hear that exhaust note just a little bit, but it's kind of neat how they are just buttons on the backside. You can see the plus and the minus from the driver's side here. So of course you can tell which one does what. Let's go ahead and give it another acceleration here. Clicking on that button there. It's very responsive in the shifts. It's not crazy loud, but it definitely has plenty of power. There's no delays, very smooth in the shifts. And I love with the adaptive suspension, it provides you with a very comfortable ride. Even in Sport Plus right now, you can feel the bumps a little more. Obviously that's to be expected because sport mode stiffens up the suspension and just gives you that ride that you're looking for if you're going on some back mountain roads or something like that. But if we go ahead and pop it over into comfort mode now, everything gets very loose. Even going around turns like I just did at slower speeds and back down the same road I just came from in sport mode, you feel a lot less of the bumps. Comfort mode is very, very nice. Going over a bump like that, it's absorbing them very well. But let's move on to visibility now. In a large vehicle like this with a full third row, you can actually see all around, both over your left shoulder and your right shoulder. That's very nice to see that the pillars are not all that bulky. I can easily look out of my rear view with the third headrest or the third row headrest folded down as well. That gives me a lot more visibility out of this rear glass. And then one thing that I did forget to mention about these sunroofs or these panoramic roofs is the fact that they have LEDs in them. So hopefully from that camera angle there, you can see all the speckles of the LEDs. So at nighttime, this would be a very cool option to have. You could easily see everything light up and it just gives you that very cool nighttime feeling. You have the ambient lighting running around all the doors, even in the third row too. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive behind a 1 of 700 2021 BMW Alpina XB7s. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Definitely check out their website. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video.